in a tin can. Bam, we're live. O'Keefe, you look like you're at the haunted house at Disneyland
Really? Okay. I'm in my dining
with
room here.
those curtains and that lighting, and I feel like that there should be a
You want
ghost
me
in
to
there with
shut these?
No, it's
Like,
good, I like it. It's framed very, very nicely. Dang, dude.
oh,
Hey,
okay.
is that East Coast stuff? Those are some thick curtains. Is that to keep the, heat in? Those are thick.
It's no. I mean, we have we have great windows for that to keep the heat in, but keep the light out. It is still a little cool here. I will say
See?
that.
Haunted house to
Mar-
keep the light out. Haunted
yeah,
house.
yeah, yeah. March is like fool's gold in Boston. You think spring's here, and is far from. So we're in the gray days today.
And did you just come from, outside? I mean, I think this morning when we were scheduling, you've already traveled quite a bit this morning, right?
Yeah, I flew back from Columbus, Ohio this morning. I was at the Arnold yesterday, Friday and Saturday.
Dude, I wanna hear all about that, but one second. Is that an HWPO vest?
It is, yes.
Dude, that is sick.
Thank you. I'm a
Wow.
big vest guy.
Yeah, I'm a big vest guy too. Why do you think you're a big vest guy?
It's probably because of where I live,
Uh-huh.
and it keeps my body warm. That's got to be it. I mean, I ski quite a bit and keeping that core body temp up.
Here's why I like it, 'cause I think I can hide the imperfections of my body on it while still letting my arms and shoulders be seen. So I
I
use
like
it as
that.
I kind of use it as a, insecurity blanket, but over the years, I've learned to appreciate it for its layering capabilities.
Yeah, I get a lot of heat during the transitional seasons, which we're coming into, as I wear my vest with my short sleeve shirt underneath.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, that looks a little funny. You know
No, I
who
do
laughs?
that. I do that.
Do you?
Yeah, that's the way to go. That was my outfit at HQ, short sleeve shirt vest.
Brooke Wells, every time there's a photo posted of me in a vest with short sleeves, or she sees anything like that, she finds it very funny.
Do you have a lot of vests?
I do,
Do you
I
have any
do.
dress
I
vests? Like dressy stuff like
uh,
you could wear to a funeral or a church or stuff like that?
Most of mine are just athletic or golf. I golf quite a bit, in the summer and spring months here and fall, and I mean, because of the climate here, our golf season's really short, so often I'm in a vest. Keep me super warm when I play golf, so
And the
no,
arms loose,
nothing
and the arms
dressy.
loose, and who cares if your arms are cold? You just can't have the core be cold.
Totally. So I'm doing a lot of running right now. It's been super helpful for that. So yeah.
No, body dysmorphia, someone's suggesting that body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is when you misunderstand your body. I'm fully aware that I look like a sack of shit. I don't have body dysmorphia, I have deep insecurity. The
You look
very
great. What are you
2
talking about?
2 distinctly different, uh, categories. I look in the mirror and I see exactly what everyone else sees. I'm like, "My god, how do I have any friends?"
I never
Tell me about
thought of it that way.
I'm an expert. Tell me about the Arnold. Why did you go? Was it a big CrossFit event? Hiller said he went and had the pleasure of running into Emma Lawson. He said it was awesome.
Yeah, we saw her yesterday morning at the Rogue employee gym. Yeah, we go every year, particularly for Matt. Matt goes to appear for Rogue, but honestly, it's just one of those events on the calendar for me over I think I've been probably like the last 7 or 8 years.
Mhm.
It's just a great place to go see people. I mean, there's 200,000 people there on Saturday is what they say, like between 150 and
It
200,000
looks
people.
like
And
it. It looks like it. I used to go too for arm wrestling, and it was absolutely packed.
it is only more packed every year. I mean, you can't even move. It's unreal. Yeah, I mean, mostly to support Rogue. They're a great partner of ours, Matt's. We go down and they're very involved and invested in the event. They help operate the strongman event, which is really the center. I mean, I know the bodybuilding piece is probably like the big centerpiece of the event, but I think, I mean, strongman's starting to take some of that limelight. I mean, it is very well attended and engaged. So yeah, we go to that, and we always have a dinner with everybody, all the athletes from Rogue, all their partners. It's awesome. Honestly, I really really look forward to it every year. It's always during the Open too. So traditionally we've had a lot of great memories at Rogue HQ doing open workouts. So athletes active will do the open workouts. It's just a great week.
And did you see Snorri too? Hiller said he ran into Snorri.
I did. Yeah, I did. We had dinner with, him, a bunch of the athletes that were in town last night, and
Oh, that's
we
fun.
worked out we worked out yesterday at the gym in the morning at Rogue, and Snorri and Emma were there. Yeah.
Who else did you see? Did you see Tyson Bagent and Travis Bagent?
I saw Travis. That's fun. The first person I saw was Travis. We got to the hotel, and he was coming out of the elevator as we were getting in. So it's great to see him. I haven't seen him in person in a long time. I've talked to him a bit, and we didn't see Tyson. They left. I didn't realize they were. They were leaving, I think, yesterday morning, and we were just kind of getting there Friday afternoon. So we didn't get to see him. I was hoping him and Matt could meet,
Yeah,
which we're,
yeah.
we're, we're gonna make happen at some point. But he was tied up when we had got there Friday, so we're gonna make that happen. It was good to see that. It was good to see Travis, and yeah, that's kind of what it's all about. There's just a lot of people in town for that event. Honestly,
Like, for
it's
sure,
always
you
fun.
you see people you haven't seen in 10 years, and then you've seen people that you only see there every 5 years. It's like, "Hey, good to catch up." Or every year you've seen them there for the last
Oh,
5 years.
yeah, we saw our Steph Cohen yesterday. We used to,
Oh, cool.
work with those guys, and Steph is a really good longtime friend. She's just been super busy. She was boxing, and haven't seen her in a couple of years. Just like that, 100%. It's awesome.
Are any of the old school guys there? Like, do you see Spieler or Chan or any of the old school athletes?
Off and on, yes. They neither of them were there this year. Josh comes in. Usually Rich. I've seen Spieler and Chan. None of those guys were there this year, but generally, yeah, you'll always bump into somebody like that. Like Camille and Dave are usually around. I think Dave has an activation there. I think he like puts a booth up for Thunder Bros, and
Did
so
Podium have a booth there?
they did not. No, not this year. I thought maybe last year, not this year. They're busy. I mean, everybody is. That's not the real reason, but it's. I think they got a
You have to
lot
choose
going
your
on.
battles. You have to choose your battles,
Yeah,
right? Where to spend your money, where to promote, where to I wonder if
totally.
people get lost in that group too. There's gotta be some, um, although it's the biggest, gathering, one of the biggest gatherings in the world. I mean, as I remember the Arnold and Mr. Universe, I used to go there and film arm wrestling. I saw them more as, there's a word for it in the business. You know how, like, there'll be electronic shows or car stereo shows, or what are those called? There's a word for it.
Convention.
Convention around specific things. I see it more as like, I was always excited to go there for Vendor Village, and that's what I assume most people were. Like, that's what it is. It's like 1,000 of the
Totally.
top vendors in the space, or the guy who has the newest and greatest rubber band, or shoot. Oh, Trade Expo. Yes, Expo. Trade show.
Expo,
Thank you.
Expo.
I
Yeah,
see it more as a trade show. I was never into bodybuilding, but I see it more as a trade show than, um,
absolutely.
yeah. I always wonder if
People who
go ahead.
go ahead.
No,
No, you go.
I wonder if CrossFit's headed that way sometimes. I
It-
really like Vendor
they
Village
were.
I really like, Vendor Village at the games too. That's, like, one of my favorite parts.
It is awesome. Yeah, it's obviously a little smaller than this,
Right.
but it's getting there. And CrossFit has activated there. I don't know if they were this year. We were really running around, and our schedule was tight. I didn't get around to see if they've traditionally run a CrossFit event, like a competition there, and CrossFit's activated, like they've had like their traditional affiliate lounge. But yeah, it's exactly what you just described. I think I mean, at least from a fitness perspective, it's the biggest sampling you know, like cans in hands, handing out, you know, single servings, you know, and
Pull-up
people
bars that hang
basically
off the back of your car,
to
racks that unfold out of your wallet,
totally.
just all that weird shit, right?
People carry a bag around and they're just like grabbing stuff as they go by. And yeah, it's I mean, honestly, it's I don't know the right proper word to describe it. It is the best people watching environment I go to every year, by the way. So, you know,
When I
people
went,
getting
it was a
spray
freak show.
tanned and like,
It's a freak show,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, they're doing like karate exhibitions, sword fight. I mean, it's truly a festival on that side. Like, you know, any sport essentially could go represent themselves there somehow
Ping
or
pong.
another.
One
I
year I
think
was there and they had insane, super high level ping pong.
it is like
Cheerleading, cheerleading.
you walk in and there's like, you know, people jousting and karate, like kicking, you know, the boards like, you know, 20 feet in the air and doing flips and landing on their feet and strongman and weightlifting and powerlifting. I mean, I think they powerlift and weightlift 2,000 people each, you know, throughout that weekend. That's wild. You know,
Competitors?
yeah, it's something like that. Like I think USA weightlifting puts like 1,500 or 2,000 people through a competition. Powerlifting organization puts, you know, the same type of numbers through. It's pretty cool. You know, it's a
Hey,
lot of people's Super Bowl for that what they do.
right. Hey, O'Keefe, is Rogue the is Rogue the giant of all giants? Like when I used to go there, I don't know if this is true, but there was like some supplement company there called like EAS or something, and they had the biggest booth, and
Right.
there'd be a line that was 10 people thick, you know, a mile long to get free stuff. And when I hear you talk about their strongman being so huge, in my mind, and I could be totally wrong. I automatically give Rogue credit for all that. Like if
Uh,
are they like the
totally.
biggest thing at the convention? Like, can you if you do you see Rogue for sure no matter what if you go there?
It can't get away from it.
Awesome.
They
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
and it's man,
Because I'm
you
proud
just
because it comes out of our community. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
uh,
look it, we grew. You know, the biggest and baddest thing. I take pride in that.
you couldn't put it better. That event, and I've seen that evolution from for like whatever the last 7 8 years, and they're you know for Arnold, the Arnold Classic, and the team that runs it. They couldn't do it without them. You know, at this point, and strongman, you like I've seen the size of the arena they build for that every year has just continued to evolve and grow, and the broadcast is getting more and more engaged. The broadcast, if people didn't watch it the last couple days, it was really good, badass. Like they did a great job with it. You know, familiar faces. Sean Woodland hosts it. You know, it's yeah. Rogue is has enhanced that show and taken it to a level I bet that team that owns and operates it never thought it could get to. Honestly, I mean, they're just such a key ingredient. I mean, the broadcast is awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful layout. Hey, and I wonder if this too. I wonder if the more that Sean does, um, you know, events outside of CrossFit like this, that it allows both sports to grow. Right, allows lazy CrossFitters to become strongmen. You like that jab? And strong strong men who want to get healthy do CrossFit. But I bet you he's been a catalyst for a lot of people going back and forth. Just seeing him be the commentator for both.
For sure. He's great at what he does. I think this is, you know, and I'm sure it's stuff we'll talk about. Like when I look at what you're describing there is, you know, I think these sports feeding off of each other is the answer to these sports, you know, emerging more and more over time. You know, and I think you've seen some of that with, you know, where everything is at right now. The more we can collaborate with strongman and high rocks and things like that, getting more people, you know, or giving people more options to use their training and fitness, you know, which is, you know, having goals for people to point towards and, you know, do different things and, you know, find their sweet spot. I mean, 100%, you know, I'm strongman's cool. I mean, it is so fun to watch. Matt and I, he did his appearance yesterday and we ran over to watch what's, I'm gonna probably screw it up. It's like the Demi Stones or the something like that. So there are these two. One's like 300 50 pounds, the other's like 415 pounds, and they hold them in their hands. I think like the origination of that in Scotland, because the actual stones are in Scotland. I think these are replicas. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, sorry to anybody in the strongman world. But
Rogue can afford to bring the real ones. Those were the real ones. Let's say they were.
yeah. So
They have to return them. They have to return them.
So they had like a walk with these this year. It's great. Like you got to look back to this. Like we can go on for this forever. There was a girl that come from Scotland last year who had like 120 pounds soaking wet, and she lifted those two things up and has like the world record for like the female hold of those. But these guys were picking these things up and walking, 15 to 40 feet. I think Mitch Hooper might have won and got the new world record. He walked with those two stones for 41 and something feet. But I mean, it was bumping in there. We were having a blast. I mean, both of us found ourselves screaming for these guys as they're like, it was all just really exciting, honestly.
Look, one dude carried it 10 inches and another dude carried it 31 feet, 11 inches. So that's wild.
I'm watching it more and more, and and I'm incredibly excited about this portion of the Rogue Invitational in Scotland. I mean, it's sort of the home of this, right? I
Right.
think it'll be incredible. But trying to, because it's interesting. Like you watched, Thor deadlift 1,006 pounds very easily. Not to say it's easy. The first day, and then the last event was like a pivotal event. He was in second, and Mitch was in first, and they did this like stone event for the last event, and he couldn't get any reps, and Mitch got a bunch. And my point being is like I'm trying to like learn the nuances of these guys' strength and why they sort of thrive in one and not another. Because I mean, it seemed like they had an axle bar with like this like historic object was 400 pounds. Mitch Hooper did in like the time allotment, which was like a minute or 90 seconds, 5 clean and jerks with a 400-pound axle bar. I mean, it's crazy what they do.
Did he win? Did Mitch win?
He did. He's emerging as, a dominant. I mean, not even emerging. He is the dominant figure in the sport right now. And, he's inching towards, a lot of historical stuff. I mean, he's so good. I mean, that guy was a marathoner at one time, scratch golfer. He ran like a 3-hour marathon, which is I'm training for one right now. That is aggressive.
And hey, and not even that long ago, too, right? I think someone's told me it was 5
No.
years ago this dude could run a marathon.
Yeah, you can find him on the web pictures. Like he's super lean, like 180 pounds, running marathons. It is fascinating. Yeah, he's a real talent. He bounced around last summer a bit with one of his partners, and so he came to our headquarters, and because Jason Hopper and he have a sponsor in common, and they worked out together for a day. I mean, look at that. It's crazy.
Hey,
But
this guy has the most crossover. I see him at a lot of CrossFit stuff. I see him in a lot of videos with CrossFitters. I saw him on stage, like very attentively watching Wadapalooza. So this guy's the most integrated with our community, right? Of all
absolutely
strongmen ever, yeah.
that runner that run that he went on last year, he was just filming content for his YouTube, and then with people that had common partners, and basically going and doing a day of training with them. I was fascinated. He did a day of Jason's training, which involved like 7,000, 6,000 meters of running on an air runner, some gross CrossFit workouts with like, 135 snatches and burpees. He's fit too, like real fit. So, I wonder, it's so funny you say that. We were talking about this yesterday. I wonder if he's watching, looking, learning, and like maybe that's his next move. He wants to try to see if he can compete in a sport like that,
That
because he
would
has
be
bounced around.
that's insane. How old is he?
That I don't know. I'd assume he's in his 20s, like late 20s, if I was guessing, but I have no. That's just a shot in the dark.
I can't tell with the strongman. I can never figure out their age. Oh, 28. Okay, so he's still young. Jeez.
He is, yeah, yeah. Interesting character too. He's very cerebral. He he's very very analytical, He's also I think he's like an osteopath or a PT. He's very knowledgeable too. Like he's an interesting cat.
Did Matt have fun? What's Matt think about the meet and greets? Does he enjoy those?
Yeah, I think more as like he's in this next phase of his life. Yeah, we had a great day, and we always, it's interesting you asked that because crowds can be overwhelming for him, in spots where he's, very popular in fitness and CrossFit, whatever. He loves going down there, and that
Can
appearance
he
is
walk
like,
through
the
there? Can he walk
lineup.
through there, Matt, or is it too crazy for him? Like, could he walk through
We're
Vendor Village or no?
Yes, yeah. There's so many people that you really aren't paying attention to who you're, walking by. But it's like head down, moving through. I mean, you've been there. It's like, these big, wide, 20-foot lanes that it's shoulder to shoulder, moving like you're just moving with the tide. So
Right.
uniquely, yes. Like when you get to like a spot where you're, at strongman, people then notice, they'll come
Or if he
over.
was waiting
But
outside the bathroom, he would get crushed.
yes. So,
Okay.
but he loves it. He did his appearance with Justin Medeiros yesterday, at the Rogue booth. And
Oh, that's cool.
we're close with Justin, and we worked out at the gym in the morning and had breakfast at one of our favorite spots. It's just a fun trip like that every year. We just have a great routine, and Rogue honestly makes it super easy on those guys. Like takes incredible care of them. It's really a fun week.
Hey, Matt, from what I can just see on social media, he's really taken to being a dad. Like he's just fully embraced the baby. What are you seeing? Does he bring the baby there, or does he just can't wait to get home to get back to the baby? What's his deal?
Yeah, the baby, we're traveling the full unit every once in a while where we can, but they were in Hawaii for a bit in the winter and came back, and I think really intent on getting her in a routine and being home. But yeah, it's mostly like him, just chomping to get out of there and get home, once his work's done. I mean, you couldn't have put it, I mean, he is loving this phase of his life. I mean, she is amazing, by the way. I mean,
He got a good
great
one.
her great personality, and she's, you leave for 2 days, your kids grow, and they learn a new, facial expression, or whatever it is. But yeah, she's waving, and she's like, becoming a little bit of a ham now, and yeah, she's awesome. Honestly, they're doing unbelievable parenting. Gets an A+ right now, so they're having a blast.
And he's fully
He's
immersed
really
in it,
got,
huh? He's doing it. Look it.
I mean, that's not for camera, I promise you that. That's
That
like
was gonna be
pretty
my
much what
question.
I
So he's fully like, wow. Like when you have a kid, you have these moments where you're like, okay, this is actually what I was put on earth to do, to take care of this human.
I mean, Matt, we were yesterday, so we were gone for about 30 hours, whatever, 30 to 40 hours. And Sam, he is getting videos all day from Sammy. He's that engaged. And,
Yeah.
often 50% of the time he's like, got a tear in his eye when he's watching stuff. He just like, Eddie has all his heart at this point. It's so fun to watch. I mean, it's all, it's interesting. You watched him, this hard guy that, was tunnel focused on this thing for so long. That's sort of how we've all engaged him as fans. I mean, he's got a great soft side, and it's like really emerging right now. Yeah, that stuff. I mean, if he really told the story on social, people would be like, "All right, we get it. You got a kid."
It would be like going over like the old days when you go over to someone's house and they show you on a real projector their family vacation.
Yeah,
You've had enough. Okay,
total.
good. That makes me happy to hear he's obsessed like that.
Yeah, he's great. They need to have more kids. They make great kids, and they're great parents.
Matt, there was this interview that Lauren Khalil did with Mal O'Brien,
Mhm.
and there was a spot in there that really resonated with me, where basically she describes the reason why she was takes a break. And maybe there's many reasons, but this is the one that I glommed onto. The reason why she's taking a break is because she couldn't basically take her mind off of CrossFit. So it's 7:45 at night, and she's taking a bite of a steak, and she's already like, "Hey, I have 45 minutes to eat this. I
Oh,
need to be home and go to sleep." She's doing one workout. The second she finishes, she's thinking about tomorrow's workout. It sounded like she could never just get to the present, because she was so focused on what she needed to do. And I said it's reminiscent of Sundays for me when I went to school. I never enjoyed a Sunday because I always knew Monday I had school. I just could not get settled as a kid. When that seems like that would be a big problem for every CrossFit athlete. Like, I just love the way she articulated it. I mean, when you hear that, are you like, yeah, that's a common, that's a thing? Because you hear about how even Rich Froning, one year at the games, he was sleeping in the back of his RV, and I was talking to him, and I said, are you sleeping good? He goes, no, I'm just sitting here running tomorrow's workouts in my head over and over and over. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. It actually, the experience with Mal, who's doing great. I mean, and to hear her articulate that the way she did. Well, first of all, it's spot on. And I would challenge anybody listening. You and I will relate to this. It's like we're in the open right now. You can relate to what Mal has gone through on a daily basis for years. Matt, Rich, any of these guys. Because think about what we go through at the open. Is like before you start, you're like, want to throw up, and then you're anticipating getting in the gym to do that, and then you do your workout and you're like, shit, I could have done that faster. Do I do it again? That's every day. In a lot of ways for these guys, the metrics that the data they're giving back is, am I progressing? And not a lot of times. And you work really hard as coaches to try to ground them in the journey, and that there's days we're off the throttle and we're not always going to be peak
Yeah,
performing.
zero journey,
Even
all destination. You nailed it. They get stuck in the destination. They're just
it's
waiting to get
really,
there. Yeah.
I mean, all of them, I'm sure, have some layer of this and some more intense. What's interesting is like going through the whole thing the last, year and a half or whatever with Mal. It kind of grounded me back to my experience with Matt, and that, Matt went through, I think they're like very prototypical, what, not prototypical, they're very like much perfectly alike.
Yeah, the
Matt went
mechanisms in
through,
the brain for we really are all the same. We all have the same CPU, or it plays the same
right.
tricks on us. I totally agree.
I watched him go through this where it would be like, coming back, and there's rowing workouts he'd use as like a where am I at, and be like, shit, maybe I took too much time off, like, living in the interval a lot of times. And having days where it's like, damn, I just like lost a workout to Tia by minutes, but their body's responding different to training, and it's like hard to root them in that and be like, hey, dude, you're just beat up, or like take a day off. He was really good at that, like listening to his body, and using those metrics positively at times. But I watched him go through it, and what you just described about Rich is like, I mean, that is the games. It's like, Matt would get his own room, block it out, between workouts. He'd go in there to what I would think sleep. And then I found out, in the middle of his career, I'm like, what he been doing? And it's like watching back what he did the prior, just to make sure you can pick up on some things that maybe you can get better at for the future. And then, yeah, going through what I know is the workout tonight, and like, in his head. And I mean, that week's wild,
Yeah.
or anytime they compete. So yeah, she did put it perfectly. You couldn't have said it better. I can't even do as good a job articulating it. It's constant, especially, they're all, at the games at this, insane world elite level. But now there's like some layers, and when you're competing or you're in that conversation to be the best that year ever, I mean, it's even more daunting. It's like, you feel like you have to be more perfect, is really what I think happens to everybody in that scenario. It's like, hey, there's no finish second, there's no, success unless it's, up from here. Flat's even failure when you're that elite. So yeah, it's a battle, but I don't think it's unique to CrossFitters. It's just, I think, what life is like when you're in the public eye and you're playing a very high profile, or you have a very high profile role. It's
Or
probably
your
like that
brain
being the
get
president.
also this the right. That's wild being in politics. Also it's this too. They're in a weird paradox. Oh, that's a great picture of her. They're in a weird paradox because when they are working out is probably when they're set free for it. So the cure for their issue is to work out and go hard. But it's kind of like being an alcoholic and you feel better when you drink. It's like, well,
Therein lies the issue,
yeah,
right?
you're stuck
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
fucked up loop, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild. Do you I can't get a feel on. She also said one more thing that was interesting. She said a bunch of stuff that was interesting, but she's basically said when she was, I think I'm paraphrasing, when she was 13, she wanted to be the CrossFit Games champion, and now she's older, whatever she is, 7 years older, and the dream has changed. Maybe she alluded that maybe the dream has changed, and she drew a comparison to like maybe a little boy who wants to be a police officer, and then he gets older or a firefighter and he doesn't, and it's easy for him to let go. But now she's in the spotlight, and it might be hard for her to let go. And I had said to you on the flip side, I had said to you before, I'm like, when this first went down, when she pulled out, I was like, hey, can anyone just walk up to her and be like, yo, you're gonna fucking regret this. Shut up and get back in there and work. And right, because there is a place for that in people's lives. You know what I mean? You take your kid to a jiu-jitsu tournament, they start crying. You're like, no, get out there. They do it. They're like, oh my god, I'm so glad I did it. Does any part of you being so close to her and a father are like, oh man, you have so much talent? Like, I think we all think that for sure if Tia's not there, Mao wins the games.
Right.
Do you have any personal feelings you're willing to share on that? Like, you're like, yeah, I know I want you to take care of yourself, but if you win the games in 5 years, you're not going to regret it. I promise you. We're not asking you to do fentanyl. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
there's this it, it's tough. It's tough. I struggle with exactly how because I think of her, when I think of her, I try to think of her as like if she was my daughter, and
You couldn't have
how I would manage that.
you couldn't have described, I mean, her articulation of, dreaming to be a firefighter or a police officer or whatever those things are when you're a kid or a professional athlete, whoever has those dreams, I mean, we can all relate to that, and then what the reality is or how it actually plays out, or, in well, we all know, especially, you go through adolescence and you mature, your mind and body changes and your focus and goals do. Such a great analogy from her because I think it's always hard to look at take what athletes do and look at it as their job and relate it to what you do. I think we often put them on a pedestal that,
For
well, they
sure.
are superhuman, and we, or they should be different, and like, look at what you're leaving aside. It's like, nobody's saying that to the president that resigns, or like, because of the same issues, or they're like, oh yeah, that job sucks, like I would be. It's just hard, like, people, and I think it's because they're fans and they want to see her do her thing too, right? It's like, shit, right? We didn't get to see her possibly make some history, and but yeah, I mean, honestly, this is great. I'm glad you asked because I think it is important. Like, I that is exactly what my gut reaction was as we were going through some of this stuff last year. It was like, I think she's going to regret this because we were just and she was like having a hard time pinpointing it and like thinking about really what was going on and how she wanted to get through it, and what or process it. And that probably, there was not probably, there was a point at which that is exactly what I said to her. I was like, I think you might regret this because we were having a hard time, figuring out really what was going on and helping her make a decision. um so yeah, I mean, honestly, I couldn't, like, I felt exactly that many times, as did she, by the way. It's like,
Right, right, right.
in the process of all this, she's in such a great place now, but there were some times last year where, that was, a mistake I made, where I was like, hey, all I got, it's kind of my default at this point because with the information I have, I think that's it, is like every step along the way, she knows this, we know this, is that I think, we and I tried to make the best decision or help her with the best advice we could at the time with the information that we had, which would be very different today with the information I have than at the time last year, right? And but we got through it, and she's doing really good, and I think that's it. Is like, people need to realize she's a 20-year-old woman developing. Your mind's developing. You're learning, what you love and don't, how you feel when you do certain things. remember that when we're analyzing these things. It's like, she's a maturing,
Human.
woman.
Yeah.
She's going through a lot of changes in her
She's
life
only
and growing
20.
up.
She's only 20. Yeah,
Yeah, I think she's turning 21 soon, but yeah, she's 20.
it's like this, someone might wanna go to college and become a lawyer and get their law degree, and I don't have the stats on it, but I suspect that the vast majority of people who spend their whole life being lawyers are miserable. It's a fucking shitty job. It sucks,
Tough.
right? Yeah, and
I
it's
married one.
oh, yeah, okay, and my mom was one, and it's a trippy way to live your life as a lawyer, and but you went to school for it, you make that investment in the beginning, and so when you get to the end of that road, you might regret it, maybe you won't. But when Matt was in his 4th year and he was thinking of not doing it his 5th year, you did push him,
I did.
right? And
Yeah.
you did, and I'm guessing he has 0 regrets. He's like, "Fuck yeah." I mean, it's a
No.
really important distinction from 4th, from the 4 that Rich won, that he has 5. By important, I mean
I
relatively, not in like world peace
oh,
and shit, but relatively, it's very important.
I mean, and that's the world you're just immersed in too, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
nothing else really matters at that point. It's like, we're in here, this, and oh God, how hard is it to get yourself to the point where you can actually go out and try to accomplish that 4 times in a row? This is a long haul, 4 years of
Insane.
doing this style of
Yeah.
training and competing. Yeah, it's the same there. You know what's interesting? I've really reflected on this through the Mal stuff is that, and I knew it at the time, there's risk and inherent risk in everything, but I put myself out, you know, and that's our relationship. But that could have looked very differently, depending on like how he, put himself forward to that last year or, what the results were. I mean, all in, I had no concerns, but hey, like think about the fact of like, now I know I'm retiring at the end of this year. Does that affect how you approach things? It's definitely a risk.
And you risk the
And he has,
relationship by opening your mouth too.
I did, I
You
did.
risk
And
the relationship opening your mouth.
yeah, in both scenarios, that was the
Right,
case. But quite frankly, that's my role. In the end, if I'm not willing to do that, then I'm useless,
right,
really. Like, I
right.
mean, and I know we do so many things together, but if in the most important moment or like I feel so strong because I know somebody so well that if I don't speak up, that sucks. So, it was hard, but that piece could look very differently today for the two of us. And not that Matt would have turned around and pointed back to me as like you forced me to do this and it didn't go right or anything, but that stuff can hurt, and I put,
Or she
I
coulda
didn't
just said, "Hey, I don't trust you. I shared this with you, and you didn't, you know how it could go. You didn't listen to me, and you're not listening to me," and it coulda
oh,
just gone sideways.
absolutely. I mean, the
Is your
Matt
relationship
experience
with
with
her
that.
good? Is your relationship with her good?
Oh,
Okay.
great,
Yeah, okay,
great,
okay,
yeah,
sorry, I didn't wanna make the
yeah,
assumption it was
yeah.
great. Okay, good.
No, 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 no. Yeah, I check in on her all the time. I mean, like she's worlds away now in Kauai, but yeah, we saw each other at Waza, spent some time. We always try to find time to stay connected. But yeah, for sure. In my experience with Matt, by the way, was then part of the data and information I had to maybe try to help Mal with her decision. But again, there's nuances and differences with the two of them, and that part was, hey, what I know is we've been through this, and that example alone was one shared, and it's, yeah, it's complex, really is, and I watched Matt go through that, and God, even his last year was the COVID year, right? So it's like, think about him, he wanted to, I was thinking about retiring, actually said I'm retiring. We talked through it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll give it one more year. That's the right move." And then all of a sudden, the games are possibly canceled. He's sitting at home and he's like, "Oh my god, I got to do this another year." And by the way, for context, funny, we were talking with Jeff Adler last night on the
In
ride back
hindsight,
from
by the way,
Kona.
it's really cool that he got to do the COVID games. At the time, I fucking hated it, but in
Totally.
hindsight, now that we're through it, what a cool kind of excuse to have a weird event like that.
I reference that games all the time. I feel incredibly honored and privileged to have been at that CrossFit Games
I
with
feel
him.
extremely
Obviously,
disappointed that I didn't get to go.
historic historic in what he accomplished, but it was just an intimate experience, like the games is chaos on like the coaching and athlete side, being with them when when the fans and all the athletes and there's 4 heats of each. There just was like there was a lot of good time with the 5 people that were competing against each other, their coaches. I think it forged.
The Tia thing will never happen again. We won't see that ever again where that last workout, the way they finished together, that shit was crazy, like, um, not romantic, like in the sexual way, but it was, like, romantic. It was, like felt like it was we were looking
Totally.
at something that happened 1,000 years ago. It was cool as shit, yeah.
It is historic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that photo in my office downstairs. It's yeah, that was such a great
2 of the
moment.
2 of the greatest who ever
But
did it crossing the finish line together. I mean, it's like it's a trip.
it was unreal, honestly. But that yeah, that games was unbelievable. But in the process of that, we're like, oh boy, like what's this look like? Is this gonna happen or not? And that was a tough year. Which makes his results even more incredible. That was a really hard year for him to process and train. And there were a lot of curveballs with uncontrollable things like COVID, which are hard to ignore at that point, where you're like, I'm done. I'm supposed to be done at the end of this year. Like, what's going on? Is this happening? Not. So yeah.
What
Yeah, anyway, but on the like back to the, advice side of that, but yeah, I mean, I think my experience with him helped, with Mal, but I made a lot of mistakes in that process too, right? We all did, and but we're all friends, so it's not. We were just working really hard to try to help her make her best decision, or get her in a position to make her best decision, which I think she did. I mean, at this point, she's working really hard to figure out what's next, and I know she's
I
got some exciting stuff
I
coming up. She's doing great.
I guess that's the distinction, right? So, the I was coming at it with the bias of what I think the best decision is when
Hmm.
maybe she needed to be around people, probably who helped facilitate her to make the best decision. Because in my mind, all I just keep thinking is, "Hey, you won't regret if you win, you won't regret it. You're not gonna look back and be like, no matter how bad it gets, um, you won't regret it." But my opinion is completely biased. I'm not even taking her into consideration, right? I'm
Well,
just like,
that was my default too, though.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're spot on. Like that was the default because when you're not necessarily super clear about like what's going on and how to process this, it's like, okay, well, been through this, and what I know is, watching Matt, or any of these. I shouldn't even just focus on Matt. Every one of these athletes struggles in some way, shape, or form like this at some point. It's just the battle, and but particularly with him, watching get through it, the actual act of overcoming and accomplishing over that was valuable alone. Never mind what the results were to him and like his life, and how he set himself up. So yeah, I mean the default is like, okay, cool, like we are struggling to make a decision. You are, by the way, I made that mistake too. I probably like tried to say like, hey, at a point where it was like hard to make a decision, be like, hey, I think this is a decision you should make, which I've learned really in this situation. That's not ever a place that I want to be again. I want to make sure that I'm saying, this is information I have, experiences I have to help her make the decision. I mean, she made her decision. Let's just be hyper clear. But there's definitely a point along the way where it was like, I think you should do this, and I learned from that, because I think, that might have made it harder for that week that I might have said that or whatever. But yeah, it's just interesting where they sit. It's, I think we all, including myself, sometimes forget that, it's not dissimilar from experiences we've had just in different, venues really. Athletics is a job, a goal, a dream, but
Let me
so is
say
like
this
what I
too
do.
let
Yeah.
me say this too on top of that. I don't mean to sound defensive even though this is pretty defensive. It's not that you were trying anyone was like, "Hey, you should do the CrossFit Games." It's like, "Yo, you're gonna win that shit." This
Right.
isn't, someone in the we're not talking about the top 15 or the top 10 or the top
Mhm.
5. We're talking about, Tia's out and, like, it's all there, "Here you go, young lady. Go get it." I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, there was a lot on the line. I'm hearing rumblings, Matt, that she's gonna do, High Rocks. this month? Do you have any insights into that you can share?
I would not be comfortable sharing that,
Okay. I knew
because I
you'd give
don't
that answer,
know.
but I'm glad I still asked so we
Yeah,
could read your face. That's good.
I do. She's training, and she's gonna do some stuff coming up.
She's been showing us her training. She's saying that she's running more.
Yeah, yeah. I knew that. Yeah, stay tuned. I think, I'll let her narrate that. That's
Okay.
important to me, by the way. Like, I don't want to be ambiguous, but I've learned a lot through this process too, which is, and especially dealing with someone that, people from the outside could say like she's a kid. She's not a kid, she's an adult. And but you saw her, she's out speaking more present, she should be narrating her
She
life at
gives
this
great
point. I want to hear
interviews.
from her.
She gives great
Yeah,
interviews. There's a lot of 20-year-olds who can't string together 3 fucking sentences. She gives great interviews. She's
it's
present.
awesome.
She's chatty Cathy. She's articulate. I mean, I've been impressed with what she did on Brian Friend's podcast and Lauren Khalil. She did. I mean, she came with her A game. I thought.
Yeah, yeah, I've watched clips of them all. I've lived it, and she is very articulate and
And I didn't
smart,
know she could
and
talk up until that point. I don't think the world
I
knew whether she
understand
could
that.
talk or not. Yeah. So,
It's like
but some of
it's
these guys we get on here and they can't talk. They just haven't. They don't got enough reps in.
it's a classic case of I think it's not calculating. It's just her she speaks when she's ready to speak, and she's sorted through things and really processed them. That's just the way Mal is in general. It's not, she just doesn't like tell you what's on her mind at all times. She like figures out what's on her mind, and then she, figures out how to best articulate it. She also processes all angles of it, which they all, that's elite thinking in processing. So yeah, she's awesome, honestly. I'm psyched. Psyched
How
to
did
see
she
her
decide
soon.
to come forward? What was there something that she was like, "Okay, I'm ready to talk"? Like, do you know what the catalyst was that was like, "Okay, I wanna talk to I'm willing to let the world in on what's going on with me"?
Oh, you mean like the most recent interviews?
Yeah, the 2 interviews, yeah.
Um, Coop, it works day to day on that side with her. Who, by the way, he's a business partner of mine in the agency. Yeah, I think it was just like, I mean, she's been getting more comfortable. She was at Wadapalooza, very outgoing there, and like doing some appearances and stuff. I think it wasn't that she reached out. I think, people do reach out and ask him or her for interviews, and I think, she was like, "Yeah, maybe it's time for me to talk. I feel good about it." I mean, she had just announced that. I think a lot of, processing was like, am I competing this year or not? And she had just kind of announced that she wasn't. So I think people reached out, and she's like, "Yep, I'm ready to talk."
That's
Yeah,
cool. Well, it's a treat for the community when she does that, when she comes forward. People care. People wanna know. People are invested
absolutely.
in the story of the entire space.
I hope we'll see. Like, I hope she comes to the games this year and enjoys it.
Me too.
It's a tough spot. I mean, where it was such a big part of your life and goals and dreams. I can understand why it would be hard to go there. Like, even athletes retired have a hard time going to things like that. It's just,
Hey,
it was
going to the
such a
games and not
different
having
event.
something to do is hard. Like, I have no interest in doing that. Like, if I wasn't
Well,
there
if
doing
she
something.
needs something to do, I can help her with that. We got plenty
Alright.
to do. So
Yeah, good, good.
what that week looks like. So it's
Fold these shirts,
yeah.
Mal. Fold these shirts. Get these out.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, let me get to this question here, and then I wanna talk to you about Scotland a little bit too in this, uh Katie's making me nervous moving the show to Scotland. Fergie Show. O'Keefe ran a Clydesdale event. You're gonna have to tell me what that was. Called led Wadapalooza strong during his Loudon Live days. Any chance that could survive as an offshoot
Oh,
of
watch
CrossFit?
this.
What's Clydesdale event? What was it? What's that?
I think he I think he's referring to like a strength focused event.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe if you're on here, maybe you can clarify. But yeah, that is we had Wazoo Strong, which was like a crossover of CrossFit and strongman. And Rob Orlando was our partner on it for a bit. that was a super cool event. Super cool event. So yeah, like they did like stones and like low rep muscle ups. They did heavy deadlifts and like you seen there. Yeah, that was a cool event. Yeah, we launched that my first year there. Rob Orlando programmed and promoted it. Did a great job with it. I
Do
don't
you have
know
any
why
interest
it's
in
not
doing
going
event
anymore.
do you have any interest in doing events anymore?
Operating them, no. I mean, we're at and running, I guess, micro events all the time, but not at that level. I mean, we'll do some, like, we're going to start bringing people, letting, giving access to our affiliate HQ this year. We have a 24.3. We have 100 members coming to do the workout. Watch Jason do the workout. Yeah, a little bit. Like I think, fun stuff we can do around. Like we'll probably do a Olympic weightlifting strength combination meet at some point with Rob and Amy. Fun stuff like that. But I'll let other people run the events, and we'll go and support them and build a better experience for them. We got enough going on right now at this point.
Yeah. When you heard Katie was moving Rogue to Scotland to depart, did you get anxious for her? Like, I got anxious for her. I don't even know what it takes to run an event, and I was like, "Oh, shit," because the event is massive that they put on with so many, like so much garnish and so many fun things and the mountain and all that equipment. I was like, "Holy shit."
This is how much fear I have of zero.
For the
I mean,
yeah, they
they're
kill.
so buttoned up, and
Yeah.
they have a great team. Many of which I got the opportunity to work with, including them at Waza. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about that. And I don't know what the overall
You'll go to
public
that.
response
You'll
has
go to
been,
that for sure, right?
and probably run around Europe before and after for HWPO. And I've been to Aberdeen, by the way. We toured Europe last year, and Rob Lawson has CrossFit Aberdeen, and he works with Rogue on their events. We did an event, a couple events at his affiliate. It's a Like, what you're seeing is literally what you're gonna experience. It is badass. There's a castle there in Aberdeen. I don't remember what the name of it is. Maybe it's the Aberdeen Castle. So call me a dumb somebody. But that castle you just saw there for a sec, um, it's got like William Wallace history. That's like a historic place that he entered. In like I don't know, 1,500 years ago and like, or 1,700 years, like something crazy. So, I mean, it's such a cool, I'm a history geek. So Scotland's where it's at for some history if you're interested. And the culture's great. The people are great. I mean, this will thrive locally because, fitness, strength sports are such a big part of their, heritage and culture, but Europe in general too. I mean, like, watch what happens in France this year at that semifinal. And then you'll also understand they're just starving for events like this. Brilliant move, honestly. I think it's awesome. I mean, selfishly, I'd love it right down the street that time of year so that I can, just get in and out.
Right. What about Boston, Katie?
Yes, yeah, but
By the
yeah,
way,
that's going to be awesome.
by no means am I suggesting that if anyone could do it, it's not them, or I'm not suggesting that it'll be bad or anything like that. What I'm suggesting is you move an event like
It's
that to
hard.
Scotland, that's 5,000 more phone calls between now and then. That's 100,000 more texts. That's a lot of moving pieces. I just start empathizing and thinking, wow, like you have to remember every piece of equipment she has to fucking track that shit over the ocean and get it there. They got to coordinate with their European headquarters. It's just a lot. It's just,
Big deal.
yeah,
Yeah, I hope the feeling that over. I mean, I'm sure they'll be understanding. I'd go to gratitude. Like they don't need to do that,
no,
and they don't even need to do the event, to be honest with you. And they do because they love both sports that are involved in that event. They love this community fitness training, and they want to put on a great show for the fans and provide opportunities for athletes. I mean, you can't say enough good things about those guys and what they do and why they do it. There's nothing there that you see is like, tied back to revenue or, I need to sell more of this. People say, oh, bullshit. But truly, I mean, you know them as well as I do. They're
100% agree that they're not like, oh my God, what a great marketing strategy. We just sold fucking everything. Yeah. I
I mean, they're having fun with that,
And
literally. I
Katie's
mean, I was with
doing
them
it.
la
It's not like she's,
I
like,
was with them
hiring
last
someone
night, yeah.
to do it. Katie is fucking doing it.
They work real hard, yeah, people need they don't get to see that, and that's, how they are. I mean, they don't want credit or, accolades, they grind, they work their ass off. Yeah,
Why does Bill
she's
stay
awesome.
so low profile? Why do you think that is Bill stays so low profile? I mean,
You
she
know,
stays low
I mean,
profile too, but at least now she comes on the show once in a while and, like, slaps me around, but why why what's up
I
with
don't
Bill?
know,
Is it that he's an
I've never asked.
introvert or like, what's the deal?
He's an awesome guy. I mean, I consider him, in a lot of ways a mentor. He's incredible. I don't know. I've never asked him. I mean, it's never really dawned on me. It's funny, you know,
He's never given an interview. The only footage I've ever seen of him talking is in the behind the scenes. I've never seen him give an interview. I've asked him to be on the podcast. I mean, he's a good texter. I mean, I don't know if he's a good texter, but he responds to text. He grunts and shit. Urgh.
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, it's his style, like, do the work and, you know, support the people around you. I don't I honestly have never asked him about it, but I mean, it's honestly something we should all look at it, depending on what your role is, but it's yeah, he's awesome. I try to, do things like those two do all the time.
Yeah,
I look up to the both of
mimic.
them.
Yeah, I think mimicking them is really smart. Success.
And
There.
I'm failing right now on this podcast with you. So
Well, you have a different role. You have a different role. Speaking of speaking out, we recently found out that Fikowski had a torn meniscus in 2021, and then 2022 he had the surgery. So two tough years for him. Still made it to the game. Still put on a show. And some of the
did
guys were
he
saying,
did he talk
"Oh
about that?
no, he did not." His I think it's his trainer talked about it on Coffee Pods and
His
Water.
coach,
His coach.
yeah, David,
On
yeah.
Pedro's podcast, and the guys were on the show last night, and they were, like, admiring Fikowski for that. The other 3 guys on the show besides me were like, "Yeah, we think that's kinda cool." I tried to ask him to explain it, and I couldn't get my head wrapped around it. What do you think? I wanna know that stuff. Like, I'm following you. I wanna know. I never
Totally.
think that it's an excuse. I'm never like I know a lot of people go there, they're like, "Hey, that's an excuse." I'm like, if my horse, I like knowing what my horse is doing.
Yeah,
Is there a fine
me
line
too.
there? Is it like, I just wanna
Very
tell the
fine.
athletes, "Fuck those haters that say, like, you're making an excuse." I wanna hear what you're going through. I'm so happy Amanda Barnhart's keeping us up to speed on what's going on with her shoulder. I like knowing that.
You know what? That's a really good example, right? Me too. Like I
It
think
lets me
because
be
nothing.
invested in her. I'm curious, what did she do to heal it? How is she
Yeah,
gonna do? Did she push through? There's tension about whether she's gonna do the open. I'm invested in there. I'm never, like, judging her for it. I know a lot of assholes are, but I'm not like, "Hey, shut the fuck up
that's
and
it.
work."
That's a bit it, right? Like, she's truly doing that because Amanda, you know, sees her role with, as as a public person in her profile to, share her fears, doubts, insecurities, experiences to help
And
people. She
she's a
has a big
PT,
platform.
dude. And she's a PT. What a
Totally.
great, like, self-study.
It's such a fine line. You could not have put that better. And I think of like, what does that look like if Brent's like, and I knew that that was going on, and I knew all about that, and that was the way he wanted that processed. I don't think I've ever spoken to it. That's why I just asked you who told you, because I'm not
Yeah.
going to be the one that says, yeah,
I tricked you.
he,
I tricked you.
yeah,
No, I'm joking, I
you
didn't.
did. He's 'Cause you can look at that, like, what does it look like if Brent's, leading into the games and he's like, just communicating that, I have a torn this, and this. There's like a 50-50 reaction to that. And you're seeing it with Amanda right now. And Amanda's like, I don't care. The 50% that are positively reacting to that, I'm all over that.
Yeah.
That's
Good,
why I'm doing this.
good.
Yeah, I mean, as sport fans and fans of the sport, you'd love to know everything that's going on. I will tell you that, these guys go through a lot from an injury perspective. They're just short of bubble gum and duct tape to, at the CrossFit games often, so, people should, I know we look at it and know how incredible it is what they do, it's even more incredible than you can realize because of that. It's just really hard, and they get beat up. Like Amanda's shoulder, like that's not pretty. I mean, it's not uncommon to see shoulder injuries and wrists and knees and I mean, and again, I was most embedded with Matt through his career. Like, I mean, he always had stuff. I mean, he talks about it now. He tore a ligament in his knee at I think it was first games at in Madison stretching. And in the
That's
back, like
crazy.
he's doing a pigeon stretch, and he came over and he's like, "Hey, I think I just tore the ligament on the outside of my knee. It made a noise, and
Did he
like I don't
win the
want to hear
games that
about."
year?
Oh yeah.
That
That's
was
the
the
year
year
he
he injured.
fell off the net with him and
Oh
Pat.
my god.
And, same thing, he fell off that net, he tore his hip flexor. So, he was battered. And so look at those results. And but he come up to me and was like, I don't want to hear about this. We'll talk about it after. He's like, I just given you the information. I was like, okay, but
Hey,
they're
does that
tough.
is that
Yeah.
scary for you, being a father? Like, when he says that to you, are you like, "Oh, shit. Like, do I need to throw in" It's like a boxer watching your dude get beat up. Like, when do you throw in the
If he
towel, right?
be
When do you
different that because we're talking about I mean, anything could be, like, detrimental to your long-term,
Yeah,
life
you don't want him to
experience,
do
but
something to where he's got a limp the rest of his life.
concussion would be an easier one to be like, "No, we're not ignoring this." But I played sports in college, like, I've been hurt quite a bit, and I know how that feels, and I played with a blown knee a whole season 1 year in sport, like, just put a brace on it. So yeah, I mean, maybe that experience helps me with being grounded and being an athlete and understanding, we're gonna do whatever we can to get on the floor. Yeah, I never, yeah, I was worried for him in that moment. Same for Brent in those moments to say like, man, it sucks. You work so hard. I hope this isn't the thing that doesn't get you where you want to get. That's the more the concern. It's like being in the weeds with these guys on a daily basis. It's I know everybody knows they work hard. It's just look at the stuff with Mal. Like that, they're all going through mental and physical anguish and pain all the time. It's such a hard training, approach too. It's so much volume, and they put all that time in. It's like you can go to the games and get bronchitis and you're screwed. It's like it's really hard. It's it sucks, and often they're all like so stressed they do get sick at the games. Like the sniffles, coughs. It's honestly it's chaos, and yeah, totally concerned for sure, but on different levels. Like his knee injury, I was like, cool. I mean, he needs me at that point to build confidence in him too, right? So it's like I can't be like, "How's your knee? You okay? Like everything good?" Like over checking on him because he'll be like, Did I limp? Like what was wrong? Like am I not moving fast enough?" So you got to shut it down at that point. It's part of the job.
How did Matt process, Mal's journey? Was that hard? HWPO comes out of the gate super hot, crazy, fan favorite for programming, all of these verticals, running the business, podiums everywhere. The Vermont gym's beautiful. He has a kid. He's training the next biggest and greatest athlete in the world, and then there's that hiccup there with her. Was that hard? Was that hard? Like tear shedding hard?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we're so emotionally invested with everybody that's a part of our team, whether it's an employee or an athlete, a member. Their success and goals and results are paramount to everything else we do. Like we're really just focused on helping people get where they want to get and be their
Like, when you
best.
fire an employee,
'Cause
you almost feel like you failed, you know what I mean? Not that he didn't fire him out, but you know that feeling like you're like, "Fuck, I've done everything, what am I gonna do with this guy?" And then you gotta call him in and be like, "Hey, dude, it's not I can't get I failed you. I'm firing you, but I
o-
kinda failed you."
often that is the case. I
Yeah,
mean, truly, it's
I couldn't lead you, I
wrong,
couldn't make it happen.
total.
And Matt
It's
seems
so
like the guy
hard.
who
I
who
struggle
would
with that.
own that. And Matt seems also like the kinda guy who would own that, like, he expects the best from himself.
It's a blessing and a curse, and it's now
Mhm.
translated into his, coaching, business life. Yeah, I mean, super self-reflective and yeah, we all had a hard time with that. Him not being unique to that, and and again, it probably was harder for him because he's been through it, and I think that's where you get more you have more conviction in that, you know, just do this and get through this because I know what it feels like on the other side. It's probably hard. I mean, it's not probably. It was harder for those two than anyone, you know,
Right.
and her the most. But yeah, I mean, it was super hard. You know, it totally. I mean, and you know, he just wants what's best for her in the grand scheme of things, and but he's, you know, think about it like coach, mentor, friend. I mean, Mal is family. Like Mal's like eating dinner um, at their house 2, 3 nights a week. You know, they're helping raise her at that point. So yeah, it was super hard. You know, really emotional, and you also know, it's hard because you want to push and you don't want to push people over the edge. It's again, it comes with the job. Nobody wants a party for it, but because we're super privileged to be in the position we're in, but it's not easy. Yeah, the whole thing was hard for everybody. Everybody involved. Sammy, Matt, myself, the rest of the team. I mean, Jake Marconi is one of Mal's best friends in the world, really hard for him, because we didn't want Mal to be suffering is really
Right.
all it was about. It was like,
Right.
man, we watched, it was hard for her.
And there's nothing you
And
can
nobody
do.
had,
It's not like you can be like, "Hold on, let me take this rock off your back."
that is the hardest part, which is
There's
I
nothing
think,
you can do.
everybody, that has success, has a bit of like, control freak in them at times, So it's like I got the answer is probably how a lot of us felt at one time or another. Um, yeah, man, it was
Yeah, I
that
made a
was hard.
video on it and I got 50,000 views. I have the answer, Mal. Yeah, you're totally right. Guilty. Hey, is Matt? Does Matt ever itch to compete again? Could we ever see Matt compete again in anything? Paper airplane throwing. Does
Yeah,
he have that
yeah.
itch? I mean, he was on the biggest. He was on a big stage, people cheering, working hard. Like, does he miss that?
I don't know. I don't think so. If I'm, directly, quickly answering that, we talked a bit about this yesterday. Honestly, I was starting to talk about that before. We're in the car with Jeff Adler coming back from dinner last night, and he was explaining. He's like, I had a whole career before this career, and so I had miles on me. Was what he was talking about. Jeff's like 30 this year. He was asking Matt when he stopped and all that stuff, and but anyway, he was I never heard him describe it like this. He was like, I thought I was done with athletics, went in to get in shape, and he was like, I was asking he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna start something all over again now. He had done 10 years in weightlifting. So he's got it out. Like he's competed on the world stage in two sports at a really high level. Nearly, was always in the Olympic conversation for weightlifting, then got hurt, so I think he's good there, but he's highly competitive. So you can imagine what that looks like in now a different venue business. He wants to win. He wants to do things the best. He wants to, have the best coaching staff and, provide the best experience to our members. So I think he's really thriving in that and he's got his hands in a lot of different businesses, podium, he's really having fun with that aspect of his life. Will he ever compete again in anything? I mean, you can never say never to stuff like that. Like, there's nothing that I know are on the horizon there. He's really starting to enjoy training again, which, I think is something that a lot of people from afar look at and be like, because, there's, that top tier of athletes that have won the games multiple times. And, like Rich still trains a ton, right? And, I think CrossFitters look at that and they're like, that's what a CrossFitter competitor should do. And now it's like, you're still training hard, but you're just not competing. But it was a sport, it was his job, and it was hard for him to go into a gym and look at it from a lifestyle approach like we do, and or say like, hey, like I'll do the open and put my scores on the board and they'll be mediocre. Like you gotta really understand how hard. I mean,
Like, Lance
he's
probably
not a
never
bad.
rides a bike without clipping in, where you and I could give two shits about clipping in. We'll just ch
Exactly. I
but
mean,
he would be like, "Are you kidding me? What's the point?" He can't
He
even
yeah, he's really enjoying training again, which is so I'm really happy for him because, and he's like very aware of his health and wellness at this point, and really trying to like dial in all things around that and training a piece. He's helping Sammy and I train for this marathon that we're doing. We're doing Boston in about 5 weeks, and
Sammy's doing it too, huh?
she is.
Good
I
on her.
mean,
Wow, that's
uh,
badass.
doing a marathon is incredibly hard. How about running literally 7 months to the day after you give birth? So she's incredible, and the fact that she's even training right now is like mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, and
She's killing.
you're still growing the baby even when it's outside of you. You still gotta feed this sucker.
Yeah, she's breastfeeding still. Like she's not on her schedule. She's on Eddie's schedule. She's killing it.
Oh, she got
She's
the
incredible.
HWPO vest too. Look at her.
Yeah, these were a gift to our team. We had a big annual meeting beginning of December, and so try to give these guys, gifts. And so this was, yeah. So everybody on our team has these.
Hey, Tyson Bagent recently did the CrossFit Open, 24.1 quarterback for the Chicago Bears.
How do you do?
He did great. He got 8 something, dude. He did it.
That's legit.
Yeah, that is
That's
legit.
legit.
And
What
he
did you
did,
get?
I didn't finish. I got 163 reps. You know, it's crazy too. I
Good.
submitted a video and I marked it as unlisted, and then just because I didn't want anyone to see it. And then I see comments rolling in on it, and my friends are like, "Yeah, dumbass, when you upload it, people can click and watch the video."
Mhm. Good for you, putting yourself out there.
Oh
That was
my
a hard. That was a lot harder than I thought. That the workout looked more benign to me than it
dude,
was.
I was
I'll tell you
12
that.
reps in. I'm like, I'm fucking done.
That's a lot of
I had a
workouts,
torn
huh?
meniscus. I had a torn meniscus. Um,
He that's a I mean, he's super. I mean, super.
do you think that makes
That
him the
is so
fittest guy in the
cool.
NFL? I wanna see everyone in the NFL try 24.1. You think that I suspect that no one in that might be the fittest guy in the entire NFL.
That I would say that workout with that weight for some guy, I bet there's, but the answer is yeah. I mean, he's definitely got to be up there. But like that particular workout, there might be somebody who can because they're. I mean, they're all really fit. Their
Right,
composition, that dumbbell is like
right.
a paperweight to them, and then
But
just like
no lineman's doing that.
no,
And
no.
I don't even know about a running back might get gassed, right? Like,
I mean,
what
anybody who
position would do it? Like a kicker or a wide receiver? Like, who's gonna beat that time in the NFL? I wanna
I
see
mean, I
someone
don't
try.
know. If you haven't trained that way, I mean, you're smoked in the first 21 burpees at that point, going, "Oh my god, what did I get myself into?" I mean, I've been like training I've been doing cross training, which has been super fun for the marathon. But everything's like a bit longer in my approach on a daily basis. I was shocked when I got to the 15. I'm like, this dumbbell's heavy. Like, what is going on? This dumbbell's light. That was hard. That was hard.
Sevi, you should redo it. I'm been hacking. I've like I'm so fucking congested. I'm a mess. Maybe I'll redo it like in a month or something when I'm not sick. You know when you can actually taste your loogies? I'm in that phase. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
They're
It's a
not
tough
green or
place to
yellow
be
though,
with an
but
open workout. That
yeah,
really
whatever. I don't even
you
care.
you got a good score. Put it on the board. You're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I did it. But when I saw Hiller made a video of him doing it side by side with Tyson, and I was just blown away. I was like, wow.
Did he beat Hiller?
No, he didn't beat Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume, but
But it was
I didn't see
close.
this.
But they did a workout together last week and he beat Andrew. Oh yeah,
Uh,
I think that is at Rogue they did it. Yeah, that's at Rogue, right? That's
that's
in
the
like their demo room.
that's the employee gym.
Yeah, and Tyson's a big I mean, he's a tall dude. He's probably like 4 or 5 inches taller than Andrew.
I was at the combine last year. Didn't get a chance to meet him, but I got to watch him do some things at the combine last year. And yeah, he is tall. I mean, he's not tall by NFL standards, but he's not short.
No.
So yeah, he's
Little
fit.
over a little
He-
over 6'3" and a big hand, yeah, and crazy fit, and still young, look at him, I mean, you can just tell too, he doesn't even have a fully matured body yet, he's a fucking 22, 23-year-old kid.
I watched his interview at the combine last year.
Uh-huh.
We were there. That was awesome. I mean, that whole experience last year for him at the combine is like, I mean, man, that was a dream come true alone. I mean, I'm putting myself in his shoes, but that was awesome. I mean, man, I hope he has a long, great career. He deserves it. I mean,
Too.
he's legit. He's legit. He deserves to be on a roster,
Yeah.
for sure. And I hope he develops and gets an opportunity to start, as like not a guy who replaces the number one. I mean, he's got talent. I mean, God, anybody who puts numbers up like that at any level in college football, I mean, he's the most prolific passer in the history of the sport at that level. Um, I mean, he'll figure it out. The game's so hard and fast. I mean, you just need to adjust. So I mean, I think he's gonna have a good career.
How about one of the games, he's the Harlan Trophy winner as a rookie, and he got to play last year's Heisman winner, and he won. I forget which
That's
team that was.
wild.
Yeah, that shit's never gonna happen again. A Harlan Trophy winner will never play a Heisman Trophy winner ever again. That will
I
never.
wish that was more of a storyline when that happened. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's
Who
crazy.
won the Heisman?
The best D2, it was the, and that kid was cool too. He came across the field and congratulated Tyson. Um, what was that kid's name? Oh, Carolina Panthers.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's Bryce Young. Yeah, Bryce Young. Yeah, that's from everything I've heard. Bryce Young was a noble athlete for a bit. Like I've heard he's a really nice kid. Yeah,
What a crazy thing, right? To have to go from being the best one of the best to ever do it in college and then be on a team that's 1-8. That's a fucking rude awakening, huh? Same with
hadn't
Chicago.
he?
Look at same with Tyson, one of the best to ever do it, and then that must be a
That
fucking head trip.
humbling. Welcome to the NFL. That is man. I wish that was a bigger story when that happened. I mean, I knew he beat Carolina
No,
in
the
that, but
thing
I
is
didn't
no one
really
even
hear
knew
that.
that no one even knew that game was happening. When two shit teams like that play, it's like no one it's
This is how you create a storyline around an event like that. That would have been a
Adam
great story.
Adam Blakesley, I don't think he was Heisman winner, just the number 1 overall pick.
Oh, okay. I don't know who won the Heisman that year. I don't. I followed college football. I don't remember,
I'm
honestly.
gonna Caleb's gonna either prove me right or not prove me right. Okay, I wanna bring up one more, fascinating topic that, me and the boys were talking about last night. Um, in high school, Gazan benched, I think, 225.
Really?
Yeah. Bryce Young, Heisman Trophy winner. Yes.
Yes,
Um,
you were right.
uh, now, she benched 270 last year.
What?
Yeah. Have you seen this video of her
That's
benching 270? It's nuts, dude. It is ab
270?
two
I can't do that. So there we
270,
go.
dude. Hey, what do you think the equivalent of that is? I was saying that puts her on the Mount Rushmore of, like, weird tricks that CrossFit Games athletes can do. I'd put that, like, e
It's like a 400-pound men's bench.
okay, good. Okay, I
Like,
said 500, the boys were saying 385. I just thought it's just such a crazy outlier.
you know what? You know what? By the way, I was going over this last night because we're watching the strongman, the strong woman competed as well. And if you look at the deadlift, I think that's like very indicative of the percentage play. So like top guys were between 900 and 1,000 pounds for the deadlift with the elephant bar, and women were between 6 and 650. So I think that was like because I've never like real. I mean, we have those stats in CrossFit, but like maybe because CrossFit isn't like a Olympic lifting sport, there's some variability there, but where it's strength specific, I think we got some good data out of that event. I mean, it's always been there. I've just never paid attention to it, but looks like that's like a fair way to assess, what a male to female weight should look like.
I trip. I'm gonna be honest with you. I trip
That's
on
crazy.
woman strongman a little bit. And I was reading all the comments and the people who were saying like, "Hey, these aren't really women" or stuff like that. They were getting beat up pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, "Hey, you're just not used to a strong, powerful woman." And I was like, "Why am I tripping on this?" I think women could be the best doctors, the best basketball players, the best CrossFitters, the best cooks, the best lawyers, the best whatever. You know what I mean? Generals, whatever. But that sport, because they take a hormone that's found naturally in men, it makes us more men. But because
Mhm.
they put that hormone into I think this is why I'm because they put that hormone into women to make them stronger, it makes them more men, and I think that's the part where I struggle with it, because they're not that hormone plays a huge part of why we're men. I don't know. E
Um,
I struggle with women taking testosterone. I don't like them to being turned into men. I don't know. I'm not judging them for it. It's like I would be best friends with someone who did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but as a I wouldn't want my daughter to take testosterone. I don't I like I just wouldn't.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it isn't. It's just such an interesting topic in general in sports. I mean, it'd be so cool to look at human performance and know that the playing field's incredibly level in every sport.
But
It's
look at
hard to.
Gazan. I think Gazan's natural as fuck. I mean,
Oh, for
and she
sure.
benches
Yeah.
270, so it can be done. You can be an absolute freak at some male traditional male
I love that's what I'm talking about. I love that.
movements.
Like
Yeah.
you're seeing that from her, you're seeing the limits, on that side of things. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. People probably think I'm delusional, but like I think, I mean, I'm not naive to think that that's not going on in CrossFit, but I look at people that I'm really close with, which is a lot of the guys that and girls that go to the games on an annual basis, and I think it's a lot less. I mean, I don't know of anybody that I'm close with that I would even like think even 10%, 5% that way. Like it's not as prevalent as people speculate on. I really I believe that to my core. I mean, I've shared hotel rooms with these guys. I've essentially lived with, some of these people that we represented for months leading up to the games. So yeah, I mean, I guess, you never know in the grand scheme of things, but I feel like I really know on that side with at least the people I'm close with. So yeah, but I do struggle with that in sports. It's like, I'm a bit of a purist, I love the human. It's what's made me so attracted to CrossFit. Human performance is outrageously cool. And what our limits are. And some people enjoy the fact that, you can enhance that and then see what, that extra gear looks like. I don't, it's not something for me. And people be like, well, you love strongman. I do. I've
Yeah.
enjoyed watching it.
Hey, it's the same with fighting. Sometimes I'm sitting there, and it's not uncommon. I'd say once a month, I'm sitting on my recliner watching the UFC, and I'm like, "Man, this is a little barbaric." I don't know if like
I love UFC.
yeah, there's just
I
but
do.
you know when there's points when a guy's just completely bloody, and every time he gets hit in the face, you're like, "Man, you gotta stop this." You're like, This
Yeah,
guy's
it's
standing up. He's
crazy.
unconscious standing up." You've
That,
been
by
to
the way, the last
Go
I've
ahead.
been to a couple. Yeah. But like, I guess strongman, by the way, to reference it, it would be like a level playing field on that side, right? In other sports, it's not because of that stuff. But and on UFC, yeah, Matt and I went to a title fight, Chandler and Oliveira in Houston. I don't know, a couple of
Wow.
years ago,
Wow. That's the one
and got
where he kicked Oliveira in the head and didn't change his whole face? Chandler
no,
knocked
that
Oliveira.
was
Oh.
Chandler
Oh,
lost.
that was
That was the
Tony
first time
Ferguson. Okay, sorry.
Ferguson, yeah. So that was the first time that Oliveira won the belt. And I mean, he was all but dead in the first round, which is sort of indicative of most of his fights. It's like he survives and then he just thrives. But that, I mean, I had started to become a fan. I was so hooked. That is, and to reference back to your piece about like it being barbaric at times, of the fight sports, to me, I feel like it's the safest because, they don't have this big gloves on. You're not getting hit 780 times in a fight. Um, it's truly so razor thin that the best ever can get knocked out with one wrong move. It's not the same in boxing, so I think that, you're seeing a different presentation of that. I love it. Honestly, we're close with Amanda Nunez. Got to know her, and I mean, she's incredible, extraordinary. But yeah, I mean, I just said maybe that's it. I love how razor thin it is. It's like you don't know who's going to win anything. Like you can, yeah, there's favorites and whatnot, but like I've been surprised most times. got the pay-per-view of being like, I can't believe that person won.
I
It's
know,
crazy.
right? Are you gonna watch the fight next week between Anthony Joshua and Ngannou? Did you know they're boxing? It's not been very publicized very much.
I didn't even know that, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably not,
No? Even though
honestly.
it's an
Yeah,
Ngannou
yeah.
boxing, you won't watch it? I missed the Tyson Fury one. I usually watch boxing, but I missed the Tyson Fury Ngannou.
I watched that. I really kind of thought he got a raw deal, honestly, in that. He's incredible too. He's by the way, he's a guy that's dipped his toes around some, functional training, CrossFit. He had a big relationship with the assault people. So he's super cool dude. But yeah, I probably won't watch that. I don't watch a lot of boxing. Funny, I'll admit it. Like every once in a while, I've thrown like a Jake Paul fight on, just be like, what is going on here? Like,
Yeah.
is he legit or not? Kind of examining that, but I really love
Tax write-off,
UFC.
tax write-off, tax write-off. Jake Paul.
Yeah,
Tax write-off.
R&D.
Sarah Cox from CA Peptides. Small amounts of tea are very beneficial for older women. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Thank you, sir.
And it doesn't make them manly. Someone, Sarah, have you seen those strong women? I'm telling you, I mean, you're not manly at all. I seen you. You're as girly as they get. But I'm just saying, yeah, I'm getting slapped around. Sevan getting slapped around by a sponsor. That's correct. That is correct. I mean, absolutely. You should take as much testosterone as you can, regardless if you have a penis or vagina. Hey, who was around the assault guys? Ngannou? Or
Yeah. Probably
he was friends with Roger?
I think Tracy. I don't
Oh,
know.
Tracy.
I mean, I've
Wow.
heard
Wow.
Tracy. There was a point at which,
They were dating? Tracy and Ngannou were dating?
no, false. They but they she I mean, this was in my Waza days where they were partner at Waza and she was considering, I think they sponsored him at some point. They were going to bring him possibly. We're wondering about but creating some content with like Matt or Tia or something like that. Never played out, but yeah, they
That's too
definitely had
bad.
a relationship with him.
Ngannou seems like a great dude. Hey, did you see Assault Bike sold?
I heard that. I haven't really seen any like details on the whole thing, but I did know that. Yes,
Have you heard of this company called Fit Lab?
I have. Yep.
They own some weird shit. It looks like they own all. Are you intimate with them? Before I dig in here, man, it's
Zero.
a trip. You should look at it. It's a trip. Like they own. I can't tell exactly what it is, but I was looking at their portfolio. Oh, here, FitLab is acquiring Assault Fitness and RPM Training. The integrated fitness platform is bulking up its equipment offering after raising $15 million in 2022. They closed a Series B investment last year. I says, yeah, so they own. It looks like they own like Nike Studios. They own McGregor Fast. They own this weird like sitting down breathing thing. But I went through their entire portfolio, and basically every fitness thing that they own, they kind of describe as the same. The premier blah blah blah, the premier fitness, the premier. It's a trip, but it looks like Assault Bike is the first like actual object they own. Oh, Andrew Hiller. Sarah is correct. Women hang out at 20 to 80 NGDL, and some can hang out around 120 with the help, of course, and are hot as shit. I agree. I look at thanks, Hiller. I got you, homie. Jesus Christ. Andrew's trying to take my sponsor from me. But those girls that do the strongman, I don't want my daughter taking. Yeah, this is the company. Look at, so they own Assault Fitness, and then they own something called Electric and McGregor Fast and Fit Plan. They own all of these like these are all like studio things, I think. Ragnar.
RPM. Oh, that's where I knew him from. Okay. They were the investor in RPM. Oh, that's cool. That's Laird Hamilton, right?
Yeah,
You're
the
right.
guy, the surfer dude, and the volleyball girl.
She was at Waza one year. She appeared for. I can't remember who. I think she was there for RPM. Funny enough, if I remember correctly, maybe it was for FitLab. But yeah, she was at Waza my last year, I believe.
She's like 6
She
foot, huh?
spoke. Very tall. Very tall.
Yeah,
No, she's taller than 6 foot, I think.
okay, here
Gabby
we
Reese.
go. Here we go. Okay, Andrew, what's this? I should also say that strong women are likely supplementing testosterone to the point they will register higher than I am currently. You're suggesting? Here, I'm going to tell you they are suggesting. All right. Hey, thanks for coming on. Great catching up with you, dude.
Yeah, always. It's great to talk to you as well.
I
I'm
know you.
excited. This season's here. We're ready to crank. It's gonna be a great year.
Yeah, I'm
A
pumped
lot
too.
of cool stuff. Dallas is gonna be bad. Fort Worth's gonna be badass. Like we're gonna
Hey,
have a great year.
if you want to see an amazing event, you should watch our 24.1 that we did over at uh
Heard nothing but great things about it.
at Char-
Jason was there, so I
thank you.
texted with Jason a little. Yeah.
Dude, what a when you get we had Born Primitive gave us the money to fly the guys out there, and then everyone else just basically worked for free. And dude, it shows like it shows what people when they work hard, when people care about the same thing and they all put their heads together and work hard. Dude, we crushed. I'm so proud. Zero
That's
humility.
awesome. Good for
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Yeah.
I love that you did that. I love that stuff. I think that's gonna be I mean, that's such cool evolution. Having more of these guys,
Technology,
I think
dude. Technology and smart fucking kids like Will Branstead are smart 25-year-old fucking workaholics. It's always what keeps
it's
the world going. 25-year-old workaholics.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
That
it is.
a lot of
Passionate 25. You remember that
passion,
25 and you're like,
energy.
"Dude, point me at something. I'll take the fucking trash out." Dude fucking just
It's
put on a
all
fucking event at CrossFit Charlotte. Yeah, it's nuts.
I was a hot mess at 25, but
Me
anyway.
too. Okay,
The
35 for me. I was 10 years behind. Yeah. I was great at rolling joints
that
at 25.
that whole um you know, I love that evolution. I mean, these guys, I mean, it's such a great way for them all to go through the open. It's just like do these things on display and get it done with and move on. Cause it's, I mean, truly that layer of the season for guys like Dallin, you know, I mean, they're moving on, right? It's like such a great way to be accountable to a workout and like, put your energy, you're doing it against someone, people are watching. I want to see more of that. That's so cool. I mean, the open announcement, great. Like that was great.
Hopper's doing this Friday
Awesome. Who's he doing it against?
against Taylor. Everyone does it against Taylor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Those
Taylor
guys are
versus the
buddies.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the third week we have Colton.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
And
we
hey, dude,
have Jason coming in up for our third week to do it at HWPO HQ. So that'll be fun with all our members and a couple of our other semifinal athletes. Be fun.
will
I
you
love that we're
will you
all
guys
doing things
stream
like
that?
that.
Will you guys stream it?
Probably not. Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean we could consider it, but yeah, I don't think so. That would be a Jason. Like it's really important to me. It looks like Jason wants it to look in that situation. He's doing it week 2 live. Maybe he won't want. I don't know. Maybe he would want to. I haven't even asked him, but yeah, I don't. That's not really the focus for us. I mean, we'll definitely build content. We're gonna vlog it, put it out, and stuff like that. But I don't think we'll go live for that.
Gotcha. And it's a whole like it's a whole nother beast. Um, but along those lines, also, when you take money from people, you want to make sure they get their value. And I think we gave that to Born Primitive. So that what was important to me is that Taylor was happy, Andy Hendel was happy, the guy who owned the gym, Dallin Pepper was
Oh
happy,
yeah,
and the people who put up the money were happy. And I was actually nervous about that. And I normally don't get nervous for shit like this, but
that's
all
why it
four of
went
them,
well.
oh yeah, all four of them left with their shit intact, and better. They're better coming out than coming in, and I'm stoked. I'm
When
stoked.
you do something and I mean, you just described why it was successful. I mean, you had a level of even maybe fear that it wouldn't be, and you made sure it
Crazy
was.
scared it wouldn't be good for them. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like, hey, am I
yeah.
not gonna, like, glorify them or no am I not gonna show them the respect they want? Because 'Cause I'm asking them all to put it on the line.
The formula you put together, I mean, Bear and Born Primitive, I mean, are there better people? I mean, you
Yeah.
had a good group to be
And he took a
successful with
risk. He
there.
don't know he took a risk. He don't know who I am. I just called him and I was like, "Hey, dude, you wanna do this? I need this money." And he's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
He's
Right when he said yes, I regretted asking him.
he's awesome.
Yeah.
But a quick one before we leave is so Bear is one of the first people I met in the CrossFit space. So when I launched my
Wow.
clothing brand Redline, We went that first year in 14, we sponsored Matt and we went to a regional every weekend for 4 weeks. The second week was Central East at the University of Cincinnati. And we had a 10 by 10 booth right next to Born Primitive's 10 by 10 booth. And their focus product at the point was snatch shorts. So it was like a padded short for the pelvic bone.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah. He told me about those.
Dmitry Klokov was his like face of that, and he was working for Red Bull at the time, former games athlete on a team. He was competing at Central East at the time. They were
Oh,
just
Bear
trying to
was
we were
Bear was doing all that. So, oh, wow.
yeah,
Wow. Shit.
and we were trying to figure it out to like we were going through some of the same things, and I'll never forget, like we became friends through that. Like we just kind of like suffering together, trying to grow these businesses, figure it out. And it was there that he said, I'm like, so what, tell me more about you. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be a SEAL, you know? And so I was like, oh, good. I didn't know much about as much as I do now today about that. And, he early in that business, went to Buds and, served, and him and Mallory, who owned and started the business together, I just stayed close with them. They've been friends. He was a sponsor at Waza. I texted with him the other day.
What a small
He's a
world,
special
man.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a special guy. And
I enjoyed him.
there's so
I
many
enjoy him.
great stories like that from back. I mean, remember those days? It was like, I speak of bubblegum and duct tape. It was just like we're all trying to figure it out. And not that we have anything figured out. We have so much more to do, and I'm excited about that. Especially with where the sport's going in general. But he like the smile I have on my face is always when a Bear's name comes up. He's just an awesome dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been really supportive of my career for sure. So I'm really grateful for that.
And he was so easy to work with. Like I said, "Hey, will you do it?" He said, "Yeah." He cut the check. He's like, "Hey, tell me where to send banners and shoes." He got a right-hand man or right-hand woman, Claire, who took care of us, got everyone all decked out and shit.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. And then Taylor won wearing all their shit, which is crazy. Set the world record
That's
for that so
awesome.
far.
I haven't watched all of it. I've seen some of the content you guys have put out around it. I'll give it a watch today.
Vomited all over the
Everybody,
place.
did he really?
Yeah, yeah. In the post interview, he vomited 10 times.
I mean, made for TV. Perfect. Win. There you go.
Dude,
Now I know why everybody watched. Yeah. That's so good. That's awesome.
All right, brother. Hey, thank you. Thanks for always
you.
coming on. Thanks for being easy. I know you've already had a long day and it's only 11 a.m. where you're at. I appreciate you flying home from Columbus and jumping straight on with us. Means a lot to me, dude.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me. Great to talk. Let's do it again soon.
Yep. Thank you. Say hi to Matt and
Have a great
Sammy.
weekend.
Say hi to everyone over there at HWPO, please.
I will, man. For
All
sure.
right.
Thank
Ciao.
you. See you guys.
Matt O'Keefe. That was some CEO porn right there. CEO on CEO porn. Yeah. Oh.
Sound better.
Do I? Man, I caught that. Normally, if I cough something up on the show, I just swallow it like a chump, like a champ.
I was gonna say, you're not a chump if you're swallowing that.
I had to spit something out. It was just too thick. It was too.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was a globule.
That's nasty.
I'm gonna take a look at it. Oh God.
Not bad.
Maybe it is a little green. Maybe it is a little green. Don't worry.
Not for TV.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm a little green. I want to. Yeah, too viscous. There was I think the globules. Damn. Whew.
Taylor put up that video of him throwing up in the trash can.
Oh, he did?
But it's gone. It was a story.
Oh, yeah. By the time I went to it, I couldn't see it. Damn it.
Good.
His wife has the actual footage. I think she's going to send it to Will. So
that
he
would
can
be
make something
so good. It's like legit projectile vomit. I've never seen somebody throw up like that.
Like South Park shit.
Yeah, right. It's like a cartoon.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Man, there's so much fucking good shit on Instagram people are sending me now. Look at this. This is fucking amazing. Are you following that Fonnie Willis case?
Just a little bit. I didn't see the closure of it at all.
No, David, if you did CrossFit, you would not get sick, dude. No, here's the thing. I do CrossFit, and when I get sick, it doesn't affect me. You don't even know the nuances, David. So basically, this chick who's charging, she's the prosecutor in the Trump case in Georgia, and she was fucking this dude who's an attorney, and then she was funneling money to him for work he did, right?
Work,
yeah. And they were going on like trips and shit together, and but someone sent me this. This is her before she got the job. I don't know if I don't know. Is the district attorney appointed or elected? I don't know, but check this out. This is her in a 2020 interview. Check this out. You can't even fucking make this shit up. Listen to this.
Because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees, because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve better.
So, like, and that's exactly what she's being accused of. She hired a dude, funneled money to him. They went on vacations with the money, and she fucks the dude.
And that's everybody in political office.
Because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees, because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve that.
That's amazing. For the kids.
Hey, dude, that's like if you guys found out that, like, I don't know. I can't think of an example. But it's crazy that 4 years ago she's accusing people of that, and now, bam. How about this shit? You won't even fucking believe this story. There's this mayor in Illinois. I think it's they don't even call it a city. Oh wait, how does this work? How do I get this shit off the screen?
Continue to cite, and there, it'll give it 2 seconds. It'll go away.
Oh, okay. So this chick on the right, this black chick with the pink glove on, with the necklace, it says super mayor goes viral amid salary ordinance controversy. This chick is wild, dude. I can't even believe. I remember when people used to have dignity. Tiffany Harold, the mayor and supervisor of two suburbs in Illinois, spearheaded a bill reducing a potential successor's salary if she loses her 2025 reelection bid. You won't even believe this. Henyard got a measure through the Thornton Township Board that would reduce the salary of her potential successor in the event she loses her bid for reelection next year. Henyard, who makes $224,000 a year as township supervisor, drafted legislation that would cut her successor's salary to $25,000. Dude, and the list of fucking crazy shit this bitch does is wild. Like, these people are screwed in this town.
Oh my God.
It's
she
not
wouldn't
even
get a pay cut next year either, would she?
No,
Would
she
just be
doesn't.
if she
No.
loses office?
Yeah.
Unreal.
There's a whole list of weird shit she does. I guess she puts billboards up all over the town that the city pays for, but she puts her picture on them. So it'll be like, hey, feed the school kids, like a billboard, your city of Thornton is feeding school kids. And then it's like a big picture of her, and then the writing's really small. They made a city calendar, and like she's in every picture. It's wild, dude.
Oh my God. What a narcissist.
Other antics have included purchasing first-class tickets for out-of-town trips, allegedly funneling thousands of dollars in public money to a foundation in her name, taking Dalton police officers off the street to provide personal security detail that resulted in thousands of hours of overtime spending. I don't know. Maybe she needs that.
I saw our congressman walking around without a detail. Yesterday.
In your area?
Yeah, it was weird.
TikTok, she spent $50,000 on a Christmas tree that she bought from New York City. She uses public funds to buy roadside billboards featuring her name and face. She uses police to harass residents, employees, and target political opponents.
If
Yeah,
she's
that-
going to do the billboard thing, does that need to be, is that like a fundraiser? Like, is that like she needs to raise that money for herself rather than using city funds? Is that how that works?
I guess. Well, no, what's funny is the billboards aren't even for her running for office. That's the thing. She'll just like the billboard will just be something like the city bought a new bus and it's an announcement, but it's a little picture of a bus and then a big picture of her. I was looking at a bunch of the examples. It's fucking hilarious.
Awesome.
20% of Dalton residents live below the poverty line. Man, according to the Village of Dalton's official website, Henyard is a lifelong resident and the city's first and youngest woman mayor in its 130-year history. Well, she's just a douche. She won 82% of the vote. God, I can only imagine how fucked up that area is. It must be just.
Jeez, that's incredible. Nobody else has a chance.
I saw this thing. I don't even know if I should play it on this show. Hey, what about this shit? What do you think about when you see stuff like this? Look at this. I remember hearing about this when it happened. Listen to this.
Federal officials have begun a major investigation into whether someone or many people benefited financially from the evil done to the country last Tuesday. Not long before the attacks occurred, there were some financial transactions in the stock market that may indicate knowledge of the attack before it began.
This could very well be insider trading at the worst, most horrific, most evil use you've ever seen in your entire life.
One example, United Airlines. The Thursday before the attack, more than 2,000 contracts betting that the stock would go down were purchased. 90 times more in one day than in 3 weeks. When the markets reopened, United stock dropped. The price of the contracts soared, and someone may have made a lot of.
So people were betting on a scale 90 times more. That's massive, right?
Yeah, they had no other reason to except for maybe they knew that the attacks were coming.
Yeah, but the thing is this. The attacks were planned. I mean, obviously, someone planned them. The planes didn't accidentally crash, right? Isn't the story that there's this dude Bin Laden and he hated us and he had trained a team of dudes, suicide dudes, to grab 3 planes and crash one into the Pentagon, one into the Trade Center, or 2 into the Trade Center, right?
Yep, both buildings.
And then one crashed, didn't make its target or whatever, right?
Yep, in the field in Philadelphia.
So there's definitely a plan. So that's why that story, like, I know all the conspiracy theorists want to jump on it, but it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just like, yeah, we already know his plan. Maybe it was Bin Laden's friends. He told Bin Laden told his friends. I know people want to be like, no, it was maybe like businessmen in the United States or who the whole thing was staged in order for a money-making scam. I don't know, but maybe it was just opportunistic. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, hey, some people knew fucking Bin Laden was going to do that. Bin Laden told them, and Bin Laden said, "Hey, short sale United, their stock's going to plummet, and then we'll give you 10%."
Right.
Why, hey, Caleb? Why can't they, like, you're a stock expert? Why can't they just figure out who those people are who short sailed it?
I don't think that those are public trades. Like, if it was insider trading, then it would probably be from like a senator or congressman because they have to report all their trades. So I think like you and me, we can trade and do whatever while.
But they can like they can be watching me through my computer right now or be watching me on my phone when I'm watching shitty vertical porn. Why can't they just like, I mean, they can find out. I mean, just get a warrant and go somewhere and be like, hey, who bought this stock yesterday?
Yeah, they definitely could. I just don't think that they're going to release that, probably, is my guess.
Hey, pull up the guys who bought the United stock. And while you're at it, give me that Epstein list. We're just going to publish all this shit today.
Now we're talking.
Slow news day. I put it right between Tia's wrist is hurt and Fikowski tore his meniscus. Publish the names, please. But the thing is I mean, it was clearly planned. So It's just weird when people are like, well, oh my God, it was planned. Yeah, motherfucker. Like, it didn't happen on accident. Why does it say? What's it? Oh, I must have labeled this one wrong. Surprise, surprise. Oh, I got the same one twice. All right, you want to see something just crazy? We'll finish on this. I think this is amazing. You know how like certain people can say ethnic slurs, right? Like we're not all created equal.
Sure. Yep.
Like Gemini's not allowed to like show white people the AI, and and white people aren't allowed to use certain words.
Yes.
Just the rules, man. Shut the fuck up. It's just the rules. This guy has made a list of dogs if they were people that couldn't use racial slurs, and justifies which dogs could use them and which dogs couldn't.
Wow, really? I can't wait to see this.
This is incredible. This is nuts. Here we go.
I saw this and it made me think today. If dogs could talk, what breed is not allowed to say nigga? I figured I'd start with the ones who can say it. Pit Bull, Rottweiler, Doberman Pinscher. Even though the Doberman, them ears giving a little state trooper, you know, but all these dogs then been through some nigga shit. You know, if you see any of these dogs loose, you gonna cross the street, and that's how they've been treating niggas for years. So I get it. And then a pit bull will bite your ass and not let go. And my uncle did that at a cookout one time because my cousin was talking. Never mind, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, they can say nigga. I feel like this one goes without saying. German Shepherd definitely can't say nigga. Not by any means. They done too much already to hurt the black community. When I first saw a German Shepherd, it was in black and white biting niggas when they were spraying them with the water hose. So they should have just called these Ku Klux Klanans, nigga. I don't trust nobody. You own a German Shepherd, you can't say nigga. Now these, they definitely can't say nigga. These are the Karens of the dog world. I really don't like golden doodles. They cool, they cute little dogs and stuff, but they always in the way. They entitled. These ones that be at Starbucks eating the little pup cups and shit. Get your ass on, man. All right, now this one was tough for me, you know, me being a country nigga myself. I fuck with the hounds, but any type of hound, you basically just the redneck of the dog community. You know what I'm saying? Like you fuck with niggas a little bit, but if you had to pick a side, you probably ain't gonna pick our side. Definitely not the bloodhound, because y'all was sniffing niggas out back in the day. Ain't nobody forget about that. And then they got the droopy face. That's how white people look when you walk in the Cracker Barrel, just like that bloodhound. I saw this and it made me think
That's how white people look at it. I don't even know what a Cracker Barrel is. White people. Oh my God.
Yep, that makes sense.
All
That's
right.
what I thought of in my head.
All sorts of rules. All sorts of rules.
I thought of
Jeez.
every single one of those dogs.
Criminy. I've never owned a hound. I've always wanted some kind of I want wild, high energy.
No, they just bark so much.
Oh.
We have one like down the road, and all you hear him barking all the time, howling.
Hey, is a Vizsla a hound?
No, I don't think so. That's like it's like a hunting dog, isn't it? I don't think it's a hound exactly. Yeah, it's not a hound.
I've always wanted a hound, but I forget, what kind do I want? Like, what are the kinds of hounds? Yeah, I mean that's a cool dog. I like looking at that dog. I don't want that dog. I wonder what kind of hounds there are. Hound breeds. Oh my God, Afghan hound, Basenji Dots hound, blue tick coon hound, American fox hound. I need to see more. I know that what's the one that's like a Bison hound? Wow, that's a trippy dog. There's some ones that just have great bodies, like a 60-pound dog that's just like looks like a perfect athlete, short hair. It's like brown and white. What dog is that? Is that the American English coonhound? Yeah, kinda like that.
Just like a regular old beagle, maybe? No, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Almost done. No, not a beagle. Definitely not a beagle.
Blue tick coonhound, maybe?
Let me see that one. I know that there's got to be there's a great hound. No, American Bulldog, definitely not. Yeah, that's a cool dog. That's
Our
like
neighbors have one that always runs over to our yard.
I like that coat and that body.
It's a good dog.
Man, there's so many hounds. A Billy Hound. Huh. Man, there's some crazy dogs. I had a Basenji Chihuahua. That dog was weird as shit. That's my dog that just died. Basenji,
dog.
A Basenji is a weird animal. Have you ever been around a Basenji?
No.
They are weird. Their behaviors are so weird. They're crazy jumpers. They'll just jump up and down on their hindquarters, just like jump up and down. And they yodel. They don't bark. They yodel. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, they're so weird. And they're more like cats. The second we would take our dog anywhere, it immediately climbs to the highest spot in the room it can get to. They are weird.
Just watches everything.
Not bouncy, like jumping on you, weird bouncy. I can't explain. Like if it's just at the door and it wants to get out, it'll just on its hind legs jump up and down. Oh yeah, let's see this.
At other times, or like this. At other times, they can sound like this.
Yeah, they're weird.
Sometimes
and they'll get
they're
really into yodeling. They're really cool looking. Oh my God, and the worst dog ever, boxers. Oh my God.
You know, like
shit dumb dog. No, they suck. It's crazy how many shitty dogs there are. It's nuts. Yeah, boxers, there's just some dogs that are just dumb. They're just French bulldogs, boxers. That's what sucks too. Like as much as I don't like pit bulls, they're not dumb. They're cool dogs. Like they're like a cool companion. You know what I mean? Like they're cool companion dogs.
Yeah, I get that.
Boxers are like just dudes on crack. It's like they're fun to hang out with, but like to own one. Like if someone else's boxer, I'm cool with.
You always see like videos of them just being nut jobs, running around, spinning in circles, jumping on all the fucking couches, all that shit.
Labs are cool. My dog's cool as shit. Borbals are just great dogs. Great Danes are fun. Some of those hound dogs are cool. Dachshunds are cool. Most of the mixed breeds are cool. I just don't like the Basenji's weird. And the boxer's weird too. They're just weirdos. You gotta lay off the meth. Oh yeah, Springer Spaniel. What's that look like? Springer Spaniel. Oh, you know what's a cool dog is the
dog.
Oh yeah, no, fuck a Springer Spaniel or a Cocker Spaniel. A Springer Spaniel might be a cool dog, but I don't like any dog when he takes a shit, the poop gets stuck on his ass. Like you can't have long ass hair. All long hair ass dogs. Fuck you guys.
You gotta like wipe its butt when you're done.
Hey dude, Manscaped sent me so many razors. I'll bring one to Arizona and give it to you, and you can just use it to keep your fucking dog's anus trimmed.
Perfect. Yeah, I need that. That'd be good.
Yeah, another stupid dog. The all those fucking nut job South American Corsos. Those dogs are crazy. Oh yeah, Dave's dog's absolute lunatic. The Dogo Argentino, complete nut job.
Cane Corsos look terrifying.
Terrifying.
Like demons.
I think my dog's pretty terrifying too, but she's good. She chills. Oh shit, when you Google a dog, it tells you its bite force.
What?
Yeah, look at this. I'm going to share this.
Oh yeah, I see that.
What a trip. I wonder if you click the which dog has the highest bite force? Which dog has highest bite force? I don't like the shows when someone just Googles around. Shut the fuck. Oh, there's one called the Mastiff 700. Yeah, that's what I have, a Borbal. It's the second highest. Listen, my Borbal can just, her head's massive, of course. If she can just grab your hand like this without biting you hard, but close it so you can't pull it out on your wrist, and then turn her head, and then you have to take a knee.
Oh my God.
That's crazy, right? Or you got to grab an ear, you got to make some move. But there's times she'll just grab my hand, especially in the morning when she wants to be fed. She'll put her mouth on it and turn her head, and I'll have to like go down with her. Because if you don't, it's just locked in there. But it doesn't hurt. But if you don't go with it, it's gonna hurt.
Oh
Like,
man,
yeah, it's
your dog knows jujitsu, dude.
it's fucking tarded. And she just works the kids like that. Just pull a kid down.
Your dog knows jujitsu. It's crazy.
Yeah, she's a bitch, but I like her. Not 9 dogs with the strongest bite force. The cane. Oh, here, I'll show you. I'll pull up this. The cane corso is number 6. God, that is a scary animal.
Fuck that.
The mastiff. Yeah, that's what my dog looks like, but it's orange. American Pit Bull Terrier. Yikes. Oh, Rottweiler. Wow, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Wow.
American Bulldog. No, thank you.
Really?
Like, do you think that's a cute dog?
No.
Like, I know what the owner of that dog looks like. Do you? I know I can see them in my mind's eye. I'm not even a visionary, and I can see them.
I
can
only
see
see
her.
one person, and I feel bad. But
Yeah, me too. I see her.
okay, yeah. Well, I think we might be thinking the same person.
German Shepherd. No, the German Shepherd can't have the strongest. Well known for its strength, intelligence, with a bite force of. Oh no, these aren't in order. Oh, number 6 is the winner. Oh, fuck this list. Oh, what is this? Turkish Kangol? The Turkish Kangol is the Turkish breed dog that is known for its large size, impressive strength with a bite force of 743. Dude, that dog looks like it's a week away from dying.
Yeah. No shit. Looks like a Great Pyrenees.
The Dutch Shepherd. These aren't in any order. Oh, that's what my dog looks like. That's a trip.
Oh, really?
A Toso Inu. That's like a skinny version of my dog.
It's huge. Look at the dong on that thing.
Yeah. Mine has a vag. Mine has a vagina. What's better, girl dog or boy dog? I don't even know.
I've always had girl dogs until my parents got a boy dog. He's okay. I like girl dogs.
I always had boy dogs and thought they were better, and now I got a girl dog and I'm stoked on her. What's crazy is though she is like a teenage girl.
Really?
Just needy, just kind of like needy and like very social.
Yeah.
Where they feel like all my male dogs, all the different breeds, they fuck it, whatever. Just go pee on a bush and they're happy.
Yeah. My parents' dog is just super chill. He's just down for whatever. But my dog wants like something all the time. And she knows exactly what she wants, and she's like whining for it all the time.
Yes, my dog knows. Yeah, well said.
Constantly wanting something.
Yeah. Like there's bones that aren't good enough for my female dog, where my male dog is like, I'll chew this leg of this chair.
Exactly. We have like 5 bones just strewn across the house, and she's like, no, I don't want it. I want to go outside and find that bone that I found 2 days ago from a deer.
What kind of dog do your parents have?
They have a double doodle. It's a golden doodle lab doodle mix.
Oh, I bet you that's a cool dog.
Yeah, he's super cool. He's pretty big. He's like 70, 80 pounds, and he just roams their yard. They have like 3 or 4 acres, and he just runs around, picks up rabbits and shit, and drops them off at the front door, that kind of thing.
It's wild. There isn't one bad doodle mix I've seen.
Really?
I'm even the Burmese doodle, the Shiba doodle, the Labradoodle, the golden doodle. Like every time I meet one, I'm like, wow, that's a fucking great dog.
And they're so nice. They're just friendly.
Yeah.
Friendly dogs.
Yeah.
And they don't shed, which is also nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. I don't know what the show's doing tomorrow because I'm not going to be here. So I don't know what's happening. Yeah, we have to ask Sousa. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Remember, women can take a little bit of testosterone and it be okay. They can still look like girls. But if you want to know how much, ask Andrew.
Or Sarah.
All right. Bye-bye.